Hello and greetings to all electric car drivers who might be interested in the Frunk for electric cars. As some of you may know, our company Frunk has specialized in building a Frunk for those electric cars that don't have one. In this office video, I'd like to introduce our newly revised product, the Frunk, for the Kia e-Niro, the Hyundai Kona, or the Kia Soul in more detail. Since our existing products are already out on the road thousands of times, we thought we'd give our Frunk a facelift. If we look at the basic shape, we can see right away that it has stayed pretty much the same. We just tried to make even better use of the available space. In the front area, for example, with the heat pump hoses, we've made this recess a bit smaller, which gave us a bit more space. It's similar on the battery side. Here, we've moved even closer to the battery itself and therefore successfully created a distinct recess for the battery's terminal cover. You can observe that quite well in the provided photo here. We've made a recess here so that the battery's terminal cover fits well and really to ensure that there are no contacts between Frunk and the surrounding parts. Similarly, we have also made a significant recess in the critical area of the high voltage cables. For some specific car models or particular series, the routing of these high voltage cables was indeed changed, and to ensure that there is really sufficient and ample clearance here, we have carefully made a small yet effective recess in this particular area. Similarly, these recesses are for the emergency release and the locking mechanism of the hood. In the spacious rear area of the Frunk, we meticulously tried to make even better and more efficient use of the available storage space, which is located directly under the expansive windshield. So basically this area here. We've made the back compartment a bit deeper so that you can easily store small items here, like the tire repair kit or similar things.
Items that you don't need often, but are still important to have with you in the vehicle.
Okay. All fastenings are equipped with stainless steel screws. There's also a stainless steel eyelet here, in case you choose the net option, which allows you to store small items quite well. A significant change is also the entry edge of the Frunk. We have bent this 90 degrees. The advantage of this is that the Frunk becomes even more stable and that it provides a certain level of splash water protection from below so that no moisture or splashing water can get into the Frunk. Alright, but now let's get to the essential part. We have also changed the material. For this new Frunk, we are now using the material ABS-V0. This material is flame retardant, which means it does not burn on its own. This is a significant advantage because if a fire should break out in a car, then our Frunk is certainly not the cause or also not affected by it because it simply does not burn. We would like to present this fire behavior in more detail in a separate video, since many thermoforming techniques or other products are installed especially in the engine compartment, so you can compare which materials burn intensely, even start to drip, burn like a candle, and how our products are not affected by this, but are flame retardant and self-extinguishing. Okay, now let's move on to the fire video. Now we've reached our fire test. Here! As previously announced, we definitely want to ignite some typical materials that are commonly used in the thermoforming process and then carefully observe exactly what ultimately happens. On one hand, we have the material we use for our Frunk, ABS-V0, then a standard ABS, then PE, polyethylene, and also an HDPE, which is also sometimes used, if you want to produce as cheaply as possible. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a suitable product from our thermoforming companies, since they don't use this technique. But for example, these caps from all kinds of PE bottles are made from HDPE because it's very inexpensive, very cheap. They're made from this material. So let's get started, I'd say. It's a first for me too. I've never done it before. I hope. We'll only set the plastic on fire and not the whole house. As you can clearly see, it really doesn't actually want to properly burn. Neither does this one. Let's try the next one.
ABS.
HWB, the ape. ABS is already burning quite strongly and dripping. PE burns too. Things are getting pretty intense here. The cheap material immediately starts dripping heavily. PE line is a bit better. Let's try it.
Wow.
Now it's getting ABS V0. It extinguishes itself immediately. It glows intensely, extinguishes itself. PE burns really strongly, drips a lot. The HDB. HDPE. If someone really wants to save money, like a vacuum forming company, they use this HDPE. It starts dripping and burning heavily. It even keeps burning at the bottom. PE alone is a bit more expensive. It also burns and it also drips, but certainly not as much as high density polyethylene and pure ABS. Let's try this again, just one more time. It extinguishes itself immediately again when you take the flame away. So, I'd say we've seen it now. As I said, HDPE burns fiercely, drips a lot, and is rather unsuitable for our purpose. PE also still burns, you don't see it as much, and it also drips, sometimes running along the edge of the plate. The material we use, ABS V0, can't be ignited, doesn't burn, and extinguishes itself. Okay, then let's put the whole thing out so nothing worse happens. It's also not that easy to extinguish. But now the magic is over. Okay, that's it for the burn test.
It's self-explanatory.
That's why we rely on high quality ABS V0 is a bit more expensive to purchase, but it makes a difference if a car ever actually starts to burn. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks, yours, Joseph.